A part of disrespect is breaking the rules. Now, so let me go into that because what would happen is individuals would be affected by other actions of other men and women, and we would call it disrespect. And what I was thinking is that individuals were getting physically hurt or killed over money, sex, or drugs. It wasn't. It was the disrespect. That is just the example of the disrespect. That's the component. You did this, therefore you disrespect me. That's why I'm going to hurt you. That is why I may kill you. So respect is an acknowledgement of a person's stature or position within a community. So there's disrespect on the streets, there's disrespect in the penitentiary, there's disrespect in the corporate boardroom, there's disrespect in the home. These are all communities or environments. And the disrespect that may happen on the street can be very different than the disrespect in the home or in the corporate. But it always comes back to that basic definition: acknowledgement of a position or significance within a community. And you're not acknowledging, you're not seeing me for who I am or what I represent.
Hey, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson, and I help men become dangerously confident in the four main domains of life: spiritually, relationally, physically, and financially. Thank you so much for joining us for the Dangerous Men Show. Today, we have a special guest by the name of Ken Miller. You're going to enjoy this guy. But before I go to him, I want to just talk about real quick our subject matter. Today, we're going to talk about respect. And you know, as I coach men all over the world, I find that most men, when I ask them, what do you want? They'll always tell me what they don't want. They'll tell me, I don't want to be disrespected. Wow. And so, you know, what I've learned throughout the years is respect isn't something that you just get as some kind of free gift that the world gives you, that your wife gives you, your kids give you. Respect is something that has to be earned by demonstrating as a dangerous man that you have dominion over the four main domains of life: your spiritual life, your relational life, your physical body, and your finances. And let me tell you what I've learned. If you fail to operate in dominion in any one of those four areas, it will cause you disrespect. So we don't want to just have dominion and rule and reign over just one area. As a dangerous man, we've got to rule over all four areas of our life. So I'm so glad today to have Ken Miller with us. He was raised an orphan. He went to Harvard. Wow. He then went from Harvard to prison. And now today, as he's turned his life around, today he's a best-selling author. He's an international speaker. He's a successful entrepreneur. And most importantly, man, he loves God. So, hey, welcome, Ken, to the Dangerous Men Show today.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I'm so appreciative to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, first of all, just share with our guys your journey, because I'm so interested in hearing exactly how, like, you were this orphan and then you ended up going to Harvard. Tell us about your story real quick.
I will. I'll have to correct you on one. I was accepted to Harvard, but I went to Dartmouth. We're still in the Ivies, up in upper New Hampshire. I have a lot of friends at Harvard. I could have went there, but I hated cities when I was 17. So I went into the country and went to Dartmouth College. But having
Well,
corrected
maybe
that,
I was prophesying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can get an advanced degree at age 62. So let's just give you a real simple version of my story. I was born in 1962. My mother was a white teenage runaway. My father was a black pimp and drug dealer, and they engaged, and the byproduct was who you see here. At that time, interracial children were not that prevalent. So my mother put me up for adoption or put me up for foster care when at birth. So I did 6 years in foster care. And then I was adopted by Irene and Sam Miller. This is in the state of New York. At age 12, I moved to Alaska. So a lot of people know me from being from Alaska. I spent most of my formative years in Alaska. At age 17, I was very precocious. Again, I was accepted to Harvard. I went to Dartmouth College, got my degree from Dartmouth College. But unfortunately, I graduated with a degree in fraternity with a minor in drinking. And so that set me into my adult years, went into the corporate world, but then I relapsed in approximately 1988. I was about 23 years old, and I was to spend the next 20 years homeless, in treatment, or in prison. I've been in prison 3 times. I'm a 3-time convicted felon, but that is again my past. In 2004, I was arrested, hopefully for the last time. Did 3 years on that term and have been clean and sober ever since, coming up on 21 years. Also, I found God when I was incarcerated that last time. And today I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author. I'm a business owner. I'm a speaker. I am also, a mentor to men all around the country and coach. So that's what brings me up to, it's pretty much up to date, but there's more we can fill in as we go along.
Well, congratulations. We have a lot in like. Sounds like you're a professional sinner, just like I was.
Yeah, I got
Hey,
paid, but I did pay.
hey, Ken, aren't you glad as we start off? Aren't you glad that God does not consult our past to determine our future?
100, yes. The term we use in the Black community, we say 100, which means we agree 100%. So you say keeping it 100 or 100. And I'll just affirm yeah, it's so important. It's the basis, it's the foundation, to all of this that we'll speak about.
Yeah, I love that concept because when we think about that statement, one of the things I discovered about God is God has the power to forget,
Mhm.
but women don't have that power. You know, Ken, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes. We all have the power to forgive. It's sometimes it's difficult for individuals that have been affected by our behavior,
Yeah.
especially behavior that's not in alignment with God's will. And I've hurt people emotionally predominantly, and most have forgiven me, but there's a few that still, I believe, harbor that ill will or lack of forgiveness toward me. And I just respect that. And what I try to do is just continue my behavior from this point on in alignment with God's will.
I love that. Well, I'm referring when I think of that is on my wife's first birthday together as a married couple.
Mhm.
I forgot. I got her a beautiful birthday present, brother. I got her the card, I got her the flowers and the present. But guess what?
Wrong day.
No, man, I forgot the birthday cake.
Oh, oh, well, that's not bad. I forgot our anniversary one year. So don't feel too bad.
Well, it's just here's the thing, Ken. It's been 34 years and she still remembers. She
Wow.
still reminds me 34 long years. She still reminds me that I forgot. So anyway, we got to get past this and get on to our subject matter. But but that's why I say God does have the power. God has the power to forgive us our sins and lawless deeds. He will remember no more. And so many men struggle with that. Um, and let's go into this concept though of respect, because every man wants to be respected unless he becomes soft and weak.
Mhm.
And then he allows people just to walk all over his thoughts, walk all over his emotions, and he just becomes a peasant in life. And that's a man that we're trying to restore, we're trying to heal back up, trying to get a right thinking
Mhm.
in his mind as a dangerous man.
Mhm.
But talk to me, because you've studied this for a lot of
Mhm.
years now, way more than I have. I've just got it through talking with so many men for 25 years. Talk to me about what you've learned, Ken, about respect.
So let's start off why this subject resonates with me in my history with respect and disrespect. Because 20 years ago, if you had asked me about it, I would have just talked about disrespect. And what I would probably share with you is examples of disrespect. So when I first formulated my ideas on respect and disrespect, it came off the streets. So I was what they would call a street addict. That means I lived on the streets. I was in the motels, the hotels, the abandoned homes, the streets. And I was a crack addict and I was an alcoholic. And in that, that's a community, that's a world. And there are rules. A part of disrespect is breaking the rules. Now, so let me go into that because what would happen is individuals would be affected by other actions of other men and women, and we would call it disrespect. And what I was thinking is that individuals were getting physically hurt or killed over money, sex, or drugs. It wasn't. It was the disrespect. That is just the example of the disrespect. That's the component. You did this, therefore you disrespect me. That's why I'm going to hurt you. That is why I may kill you. Okay. So and that took
Wow.
me a little while to understand that. And if you have any feedback or any questions on that, let me know. So then I had to work in what I call antithesis, and that's opposite. And one of the things when I work with men, I always try to stay in the positive. We can talk about the negative, but let's go to the positive connotation. And what does that mean? What is the opposite of the disrespect? So, respect is an acknowledgement of a person's stature or position within a community. So there's disrespect on the streets, there's disrespect in the penitentiary, there's disrespect in the corporate boardroom, there's disrespect in the home. These are all communities or environments. And the disrespect that may happen on the street can be very different than the disrespect in the home or in the corporate. But it always comes back to that basic definition: acknowledgement of a position or significance within a community. And you're not acknowledging, you're not seeing me for who I am or what I represent. I'll give you an example.
Can you
Yeah, go
hold
ahead.
on? I want you to
No
give that
problem.
example.
Okay.
I'm real big on definitions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I really want to understand this word respect.
Mm-hmm.
And can you slow down?
Sure.
Because I think guys really need this. This is like building the foundation of a house Ken's getting ready to build for. I get this feeling. And I got so far, I pinned it down. I'm trying to stay with you. Uh, respect is an acknowledgement of a person's
Position or
position.
stature within a community. And so there's the three components: position and stature, And we're just talking about respect of people. I mean, I'll give you, we can take it a little farther. If you're on a safari, you don't go and pet the lion because you got to respect the lion's position within that community. And that community is, the savannah, wherever the safari land, and lions bite or they eat. So we have to respect that. But I'm just talking about people in this one. And we're going to go to another component, which is self-respect. But let's go that a little farther on. I'm talking about respect with external individuals.
That's position, right? You're respecting, because what I'm seeing here, these two words. So we got respect, and now within the definition, we got two words that we gotta decipher out, which is
Position and stature.
positional, and then statue. Now, what's
Stature.
stature?
Stature. Yeah.
Stature. What are you identifying? How do you define that term?
Okay. Stature is rank. It's rank. When you walk, and I've done this many times, when you walk into the judge's chambers or you walk into the courtroom, you respect the judge. All rise. That's out of respect. What you're saying, your stature is that you can make a decision that can define the rest of my life, or at least the next few years. And there's tremendous respect in the courtroom, but that's just an example. Another example is the respect of a drug dealer. I have a position. I was one. I am a drug dealer.
Break it down.
By the nature of what I do, it's dangerous. I'm dealing with people who are under the influence. I'm dealing with a lot of cash. I'm dealing with individuals that what I possess, whether it's my corner, whether it's my drugs, whether it's my lifestyle. Okay? But I have that position. So you knowing that, know that I am protected and I am dangerous if you do not acknowledge that ranking or position within the street community. Okay? Because remember, most, we call them civilians, aren't in that world. And again, I can bring this into the boardroom. I can bring this into the corporate world. I'm writing a whole book on this. In fact, just had a meeting this morning talking about the outline of the book that I'm writing with Dr. Will Moreland, incredible speaker and author out of LA. And when we're writing the book, we're talking about different aspects and different worlds, because the key component is, again, you, first of all, you have to define the community. Then you have to define the stature or position or ranking within that community. So let me give you a lighter example, but one I love. Within the Alaska Native community, there is a tremendous respect for elders. That's exactly what they're called, elders. Why are they respected? Well, one of the main reasons they're respected is because they survived. In the Alaska communities for a long, long time, it was very dangerous. The hunting, the fishing, the whaling, the childbirth was very dangerous. And for you to make it to 50, 60 years old, you are now an elder with wisdom on how to survive this community, survive this world, this environment. And therefore, I, as a younger person, understand that your stature is one that's been through warfare, through hunting, through fishing, through whaling, through childbirth, through raising the family. And I'm going to respect that because you've made it to this level and you have survived and you have knowledge that can hopefully help me survive and help literally the indigenous community to survive. Another example. So there's a tremendous amount of respect. We have it within the Black community. Usually it's for our grandmothers. Again, they survived. They're the ones that are in church. They're the ones that are alive. They're the ones that are not in prison or dead or have left the family, which unfortunately many times we have done as Black men and Black males. But that's another subject. I can go on another day.
That is, Ken, this is so good. I'm enjoying it so much. Listen, everybody, as you're listening to this, if you're enjoying this, when you join the Dangerous Coalition is a group of men. It's a community of men. It is a brotherhood of believers who are thinking the same way, thinking about dominating all four areas of their lives. And I want you guys to be a part of this because there's great wisdom that comes from men like Ken Miller and many of the others that we have. I want to take you in real quick and tell you about the Dangerous Coalition, and we'll be right back with you. Ever feel like something's just off? Your body's slipping, your marriage is strained, and your income is stalled, and no one around you can push you to win. It's not your fault. You're just hanging out in the wrong circles. Ecclesiastes says, pity a man who walks alone, because if he falls, he's in trouble. So I'm inviting you into the Dangerous Coalition, an elite brotherhood for high achieving men ready to dominate in every domain in life. Join me at dangerouscoalition.com and watch where God takes you in the days to come. It'll be more than you ever thought possible. Godspeed, my friend. So, hey guys, what are you waiting for? Go on over and go to dangerouscoalition.com and join the movement. Well, Ken, this has been really powerful about learning these things about what respect is. And you said it's an acknowledgement of a person's position or stature within a community. And you're talking about this dynamic of community and how in Alaska, they respect their elders. And I'm sitting here thinking, Ken, I mean, this is the problem we have in our society today with young people. They're not being taught how to respect. I mean, I've got young guys coming up and saying to me, "Hey, dog," and I'm like, I ain't your dog. Don't call me a dog. And I don't care if that's your language. I'm no dog. You need to address me for who I am and show respect, right? And so it's amazing. What are you seeing with all this?
Well, you bring up a great point. And we have a whole chapter on the power of words. So there's predominantly two ways that you disrespect someone, either verbally or physically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's get the physical out the way. In every community that we've looked at, if you were to approach a man and spit in his face, that's probably one of the most disrespectful things. I don't care where you're at, Africa, Asia, America. And why is that disrespectful? Okay. Because it's almost like coded into our DNA that is disrespectful, that you would actually expectorate or spit on me physically. I've been in a fight over it, okay? And it was automatic because we have scripts that we play out. There's a famous in the Black community, it's like almost a meme that if you step on my shoes in the club, we got a problem. We got a problem. Huh? And we're like almost taught that we have to play this out. How dare you step on my shoe? Now, if you
Oh, you don't want to know what I'm thinking on that one.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I'm thinking of Elvis.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
step on my blue suede shoes.
Woo wee.
I'm
But let's,
sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
no,
I just had
that's
to
fine.
say it. Go ahead.
But the most predominant, and then, the physical, you steal my money, you steal my drugs, you do this or do that, steal my
Uh-huh.
girl. That's a physical. But the one that probably causes most individuals difficulty, especially in communities of whether it's corporate, whether it's just community of walking down the street, just the normal civilian community, is words
Yes.
and the power of words. In the community of the streets, there were three things that you could not say to me without there being a physical repercussion. And a lot of times, individuals or maybe even listening don't know what those words are, but those words are taught at an early age to especially communities of color. But we have them in every community. I'm just very, very familiar with my communities of color. And I'll just give you one of them.
Okay.
Okay. And that word is punk. You can't call me a punk because that's a code word. Because what that means is you're saying that I am not masculine. Therefore, you can take advantage of me. Let's give an example. In the penitentiary, if I call you a punk and say that to your face in front of everybody, that means you will either fight me or that you will be buying me commissary or cleaning my cell or providing services to me of a physical nature. That's what it means, period. We all know it. We all know it. In the Hispanic world, you can't call another man a mariposa, tú eres mariposa. What do you mean? You're a butterfly. Same thing. It's the emasculation of your masculinity saying that since I am a man, because I called you one, and you are quote unquote weaker, you will do my bidding. Okay. And then we have one that starts with a B, and we have for, African American, we have one that starts with an N. If you called me any of those, I react. I have a script I have to play out because you
You're saying those are
disrespect
the
me.
next two, Ken? Are you saying
Yes.
those are the next two?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next one's the B word.
Right. And we know what that is. Again, what does it mean? Female. It's, we call it a female dog.
Okay. Now I'm tracing it. Okay. And
Right.
then the
And then we
next
got the
one is
N
the
word.
N word.
Right. And
Yeah.
again, remember, it's the community. Now, if I'm on the streets, what's up, my N? One of my people call me that. Hey, what's up?
So
You
it's
know,
that's what always confuses me. Like, well, some of my black brothers that listen, like I'm 20, 25% black. And but I wasn't raised in a black community. So I never could understand like why, you know, one person could say it to another person, it's all right, and then why another person could say another person, and it's we're going to get in a fight, and
right.
here we're going to throw down. Can you explain that one to us? Maybe help me out here,
I
brother.
could. Yeah, I could. One has to do with how are you looking at me? How do
Oh,
you see me? One says, I see you as less than. So I'm going to use the ER version. I see you as
uh,
less than. I see you as chattel. I see you as a slave. I see you as an emasculated man. I'm going
oh,
to call you something that's a pejorative. We know it together. The other one is I see you as a part of my community. You don't see this said in the church, but you will see it said in the streets or in the penitentiary within the community. Okay. And a way in the Black community, we've tried to take away some of the power of the word by using it within our community as a term of belonging and of connection. Okay. Because again,
so
I'm not
so
going
it's
to go to
like
the,
if I'm
yep.
if we're black to black and I use the word,
Yeah, what's up?
then
With an A?
it's like saying brother. Hey brother.
Mhm. Oh, for sure.
Yo, bro, what's up?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
usually say, what up, my A? I mean,
Yeah.
I've said it hundreds of times on the streets. That's a that's a greeting for us. or "and please." I mean, that's very, very common.
Okay.
It's like, man, come on. I could have said
Okay.
"brother, please," but we use the other term. So, but again, it has to do with the community. It has to do with the what we call volition and agency behind those who are speaking it. Okay. And then there's people who disrespect out of ignorance. It's out of ignorance. They don't know. They don't know within that community that these words or these actions are disrespectful. I mean, you can go travel foreign to foreign countries, and there's things that that are done that are just normal in the United States, but in another country they'd be very disrespectful.
Sure. Yes.
It's shaking hands, and maybe in Arabic with the left hand.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you would never do that. Why? Because there's reasons why. But
Hmm.
again, we come back to that word, the community. So when we work on disrespect, and the reason why do you say, why do we need to work on it? Because one of the key components I had to do when I got out of prison for the third time is I had to take away the power of words. Because I'm a three-time. The judge told me the next time I go in for a felony, at least in the state of Nevada, my sentence is 25 to life. 25 to life. I'm a habitual criminal statute. I still believe him. It's been 21 years. I still don't play. But I got out of prison and I would hear certain words used in relationship to me. And I instantly had a reaction. And that reaction could have put me in prison for 25 years minimum.
Mm.
And I can't afford that. So you say, why do you know this subject so well? Why have you spent so much time researching and or pulling apart this? And why do I want to write the book about it?
So
Because
they
I
could
don't
say
want.
like they
Mhm.
could trigger you
Oh yeah.
oh, he's a prisoner. You like saying words like that could trigger you like a negative word. Like that's the old me. That isn't who I am now.
But it
Like that.
wasn't the old me. It was still in me. It was just the me after 4 years of being incarcerated. I'm back in the civilian world. So I'm in Nordstrom's, Anchorage, Alaska. I'm going up the escalator with my nephew, who's 19 years old, love him to death. And as we're going up the escalator, again, I've just been out a few months. This is the first time he's seen me in years. And he turns
Yes.
to me, he said, "Unc, were you somebody's little bee in the penitentiary?"
Ooh. Ooh.
And I'm like in shock because I love him to death. And all I did is I got to the landing. I so remember it's like this. This was 2007, maybe 2008. I went to the landing. I called up my brother. I said, Michael Jr. just used this term. I told him the whole thing. He said, put him on the phone because he understood. I mean, he knew. He knew. And he gave the phone back. He said, "Unc, I apologize. My bad. My bad." And I said, "No problem. No problem." But I had another incident. I mean, we could get into that one. I had another incident where the B word was used, and the person didn't know. Didn't know. And I went to take a step to physically accost that person who happened to be my wife because she used the word. I spun around 180, walked away, tears flowing because I couldn't believe that word would almost had me hit my
Mm.
wife at the time. Couldn't believe it. And I said, I've got to do something about this. I've
And
got
it's wild,
to.
Ken, right? It's like because the subject matter you're talking about is taking away the power
Mhm,
of the words.
mhm.
Because for me, if you called me that, I'd be like, you're a clown. You're a clown. It wouldn't cause me to say, oh, I'm a kick you. we're in war right now. If you call me a punk, I'd be like, get out of my face, get out of here. I mean, uh, that's just, um, and I've also trained myself like people say negative stuff. I'm like, uh, I don't receive it. I just say, no matter what you say or do to me, I'm a valuable, powerful, and worthwhile person. And I walk away and I don't even give it a second thought. So a lot of it,
But
I don't know if I've just like, that's just
it's
me. What help
yeah.
me out here? Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna help
you're
you out. I'm gonna help you
stopping
out.
the name
This,
of
this is
love
not
here.
going. This is not going to be too hard to help you out
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Remember, it's within the community. So if
Okay.
I use those words and I go to somewhere that does not speak English, remember, a word is
Oh,
just vibrations of a vocal cord. That's all they are.
okay.
It's within a community. But
Okay.
let me say this one. If I was to walk up to you
Got it.
and say, I'm going to beat your wife to a pulp next time I see her,
Hmm.
and then turn
Yeah.
around and walk away. It's just a vibration of words. It's a threat.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, nothing you can do about it. That's disrespecting you because you have a position. I don't know your family. I don't know your. I'm
Right,
just giving
right,
an
right. No, I
example.
gotcha.
You have a position. I have a position within my family. I am the protector of my family. Period.
Hmm.
God has given me that role that I will physically, to my death, protect my loved ones. Period. Almost got tears in my eyes
I
just thinking
gotcha.
about it. And so if you threaten, and I've had this situation happen only one time, where a
Yes.
situation happened, and
Gotcha.
again, I have to
Wow.
assume it because you disrespected me and my house
Wow.
and my stepdaughter. And I called them up and I just said, hey,
I gotcha now.
you're a lot younger than me. Yeah, you getting me now? You're a lot
Oh,
younger. So I
oh,
told him, but I was very, very calm about it. I said, hey, check this out. You may win. You may win the fight, but believe me, I'm going to get some. And I don't fight fair.
yeah. I
Believe
would
me.
instantly in that situation, instantly, whoever said that, I'd instantly say, you better never put your hand on my wife
Mhm.
or else I will kill you. The key word is I will kill you.
Yeah, I don't like to go that far. That's
But
just me. But
it
I mean,
would it
you
would
have
be it would be my it'd be my flex, brother. It'd
right,
be
right.
my roar. I'm gonna scare you and let you know
Well,
you are gonna pay big
that's what
time.
I did. I did. And again,
I
that's fine.
got you.
But
I got you.
this is one of the important things that I definitely
Because
want the
that's a
audience
trigger for
to hear.
me. That's a
Right.
trigger, huge.
It's a trigger, but what I speak to, it's a script. And one of the things that I teach, and we'll talk about in the book, is what we call gap control. Gap control. And what is gap control? Gap control is the time that input comes into our through our senses, usually oral and through our eyesight, sometimes touch, comes
Right.
through our senses. Do we react or do we act? Okay. If we react, it's because we have a built-in script. That was my problem. I had a built-in script that says if you disrespect me by doing this, or this,
Right.
I'm going to react. That means there's no thought. There's no thought. And I can't do that. I have to get to the act part because I need to go into prayer to define what is God's will for me in this situation. And believe me when I tell you this, many times God's will is for me to walk away. That's what I did. Remember what I said when my wife called me a B? I spun around. That happened to me twice. I spun around and walked away with just tears. It happened to me on the job. Gentleman was talking disrespectful very disrespectful. And I threatened him. I just straight up threatened him. And then he did not take heed. He understood that he was in a bad spot. He didn't know me, and he didn't. Because you look at me like this. Look at me. I have no tats. I'm 3 times. I spent years in the penitentiary. I spent years on the street. I have physically hurt people, and I have been physically hurt. Okay.
Right.
I'm not,
Right.
I'm not, nothing special about my violence.
You may look pretty and all clean on the outside, but you
No.
still got a dangerous man on the
Yeah.
inside, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Jaw broken twice, eye orbital broken, nose broken in
Uh-huh.
fights. That's me. That's just me. I'm not going to say what happened to the others. Okay.
Right.
But the key thing is that's now, I need to define what's God's will. And unless there is what was that movie? A clear and present danger to a loved one, I will go into prayer and then define, and it may only take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, define what my action will be. Okay. And so that's that gap. I need to create that gap
Right.
between input and output.
Which that's growing in maturity,
Of course. Yeah.
right? As a man, between what happens to us and how we react to anything, right? That's maturity. And then, but I think the key thing you're saying is you're leaving the caveat like, but if it's with family, uh, uh, I don't got to think about that.
It has
If
to be
you're
a
going to
clear and
threat,
present danger. It has to be a clear and present danger.
yeah, yeah.
So um, you know, if you send me a note by email, I had one where there was a
Oh, yeah,
comment
well,
on a social media platform directed at my wife that was very negative. Okay, it wasn't a physical threat, but it was very negative. And I went into prayer and thought about it because my old way would be to threaten you on social
right,
media. But I went into prayer and meditation and just deleted it and blocked that person and moved on. My
right.
wife doesn't even know about it, but that's my role. That's my role. Right?
Gotcha.
Mhm.
I'm thinking in terms of you're in my house and
Mm, sure.
you're saying you're gonna do something to my wife and or um you do verbally say you are going to do something to her because I've had this happen.
Mhm.
You're going to rape her.
Mhm.
I had a dude say I'm gonna rape your wife, rape your daughter,
Mhm.
those kinds of things. I've also had a man try to attack my wife. And in any kind of thing like that, it's natural for me, Ken. I mean, I'm just laying it down. I'm not going to
Right.
prayer. I'm not gonna seek God's will. I'm gonna be all over a man like a vulture on a worm sandwich. And he is going to know that I am a lion. And if you even attempt to move in that direction and your words tell me something, because you're saying something that's in your heart, I am going to be super aggressive and and I'm going to let them know. So that's just me, brother, but I'm super duper. You got to realize I'm a kid that saw his mom get beat, his grandma get
Mhm.
beat. And so when it comes to women, I mean that you hit my trigger. You nailed me. That's my
Mhm.
trigger.
Mhm. Mhm.
I get
Thought I
and I
did.
finally get why you say someone calls you a B and you're like, and when you came out or calls you an
Mhm.
N or
Mhm.
calls
Mhm.
you a punk.
Mhm.
I didn't really get it then because that wasn't my life experience. I was like, get out of here. You know, because my thought process, I'm the coolest dude on the planet. I've always been that way. Honestly, I have. I'm like, you call me that. I'm like, I know I'm a cool dude, man. So So I love it, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Because it is true. Like, the in if we put in some other scenarios, if you inputted some other scenarios, some things, some words could trigger me to get depressed, could trigger me to
Yeah.
get down on
Mhm.
myself, could just negativity, uh, could trigger me. And I really got to go, like you say, into process of saying, God, so and so said something, and it
Mhm.
was very offensive to me. And I just, it's really hard. And for me, the other issue I have in my life is forgiving. Like I'm really loyal, but it takes me a long time. I forgive, but in my temperament, it takes me longer than most people to forgive. I will, but I just have to process it. And I'm not the type that you could do something to me and then tomorrow I'm like, I'm your best friend. Hello, how are you? I got, you can just tell it in my makeup that now I'm not happy with you and I'm not going to act like I'm happy. I'm not going to be fake. If I'm not happy with you, I'm not happy with you. That's the way I am. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You're not operating at full confidence, and it shows in your body, your bank account, and your relationships. Every man hits that wall eventually. And here's the thing: confidence is a skill, not some feeling. It's measurable, it's buildable, it's transformational. Take the Dangerous Men Confidence Assessment right now. It's free, takes 2 minutes, and it'll show you exactly where you're strong, where you're being soft, and a plan to fix it. Go to dangerouscoalition.com/score. Don't guess, no. Your next level is waiting, but only if you're dangerous enough to face it and chase it.
It's something you said, I think it's real important that the listener at least attempt to understand.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel disrespected, the first thing you have to understand is, why do I feel disrespected?
Yeah.
And what I would want people to do is start looking at your self-talk. And remember what it is a position or stature within a community. Okay. So if that's how we're defining, that's the way the one I use is, why do I feel less than what I perceive is my stature or position, whether it's in the family, at the business, at the sporting event, whatever. Why do I feel less than? And on top of that, what am I saying to myself? And then the other one is, what is my relationship to God? What is my relationship to God and God's will? Because that should supersede. So I've let go of so much because I understand my stature as a child of God in the greater community that encompasses this world, which is just temporal and temporary. I understand that. So again, other than that protection, which we can move on from, what I am most concerned with, why do I feel I need to be respected by this individual in this community at this time? Why? God loves me. My wife loves me. I love me. Why do I need that validation or that sense of stature within that community? Why? Why? I'm just a child of God. I'm just a human being. I've been successful. Sure. I have a beautiful wife. Sure. I got the kids, the grandkids. Sure. I have some self-respect. Sure. But why do I feel like I need to be acknowledged? Because I've struggled with this at times. I've been on boards, national boards, and, speaking here, speaking there. And, sometimes what another part of this literally comes back down to, which I believe is the paramount sin, and that's the sin of pride. And pride says, I am a God unto thyself. I am a God unto thyself. Not God, not Jesus, me. And don't you see that? Don't you acknowledge that? Don't you understand that? And I'm not. I'm just a humble servant. Believe me when I tell you this is not 100% of the time. Sometimes that pride and ego rear its ugly head. But I try to right size quickly through counsel, through church, through reading, through the Bible, and get back to a position. So we've identified the challenge, the problem, and then now, at least my feeling, and same thing I believe with Dr. Will Moreland, we want to share what we hope will help individuals in their journey to understand respect and disrespect, take away the power of the words, right size themselves, and hopefully bring them closer to God. Those are all the things we want to do, and then speak from the stage. I already do this, but speak more from the stage to share what we truly believe is a powerful, timely message. Because we see the repercussions. I see them all the time.
Sure.
I was locked up with the repercussions of perception of disrespect.
Very good, brother. Let's break a couple things down. So let's talk about marriage.
Mm-hmm.
My wife shows disrespect. So you want to be a king? Well, being a king isn't about your ego. It's about serving your brothers. Because real leaders don't just sit there while their brothers suffer in silence. You've got guys in your circle in bad marriages, broke as a joke, drifting spiritually, and letting their bodies go. You know who they are. You probably thought of a few as I was saying that. So here's your next move. Hit the share and get 5 of them to join this men's movement. Because if you're really a king, you won't just rise alone, you'll bring your brothers with you. Very good, brother. Let's break a couple things down. So let's talk about marriage.
Mm-hmm.
My wife shows disrespect. She disrespects you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle that now?
First of all, I need to define, remember, go back. First, I got to understand, why do I feel, it's a feeling, disrespected? What is the truth? What did she say, do, or act that made me feel disrespected? Okay.
Okay.
And then I need to say, what is my self-talk? And the self-talk is, she doesn't acknowledge I'm the head of the household. She doesn't acknowledge that, I've made some decisions and she's going against those decisions that I've made for the greater good of the family. She
Right.
doesn't respect my discipline of the children or the grandchildren. She doesn't acknowledge that as the head of the household, there are times
Right.
that I have to do things that may not be fun or may not be easy, but I'm believing that this will be the best path forward as they mature by this experience. And I'm not talking about physical corporal punishment. I'm talking about, hey, no phone, hey, no TV, or
Right.
hey, you can't go out, dot, dot, dot.
And
So,
this is a big problem, brother.
yeah. Oh, it is a
This
big problem.
because the man's responsibility in the home and the woman's responsibility and our two makeups are completely different. The woman is more nurture and care
Mhm.
and soft and kind.
Mhm.
And that's why we got the dangerous movement. And men are trying to be like women, act like women, and women are trying to get men to act like girls and treat our children like girls or women, when women are there for nurture and care, men are there to show strength. And when there's discipline that needs to be applied,
Mhm.
that that's part of his role is to show strength in a situation. And um, and it's not Timmy won't listen, and so the mom says, "Well, that's okay. You're having a bad day." Dad says, "No, you are going to listen and do what we told you to do." And so both of those roles are needed. And you get all these so many guys I coach, like you got this war going on, and guys not knowing how, my wife disrespected my discipline. And now it ruins the whole thing because now the kids think they don't have to obey. And now we got trouble in the home, got trouble in the kingdom.
Well, yeah, we have trouble. But again, now it comes to a point of communication.
Yeah,
Sometimes we need to bring in a third party, whether it's the pastor, whether it's the counselor, whether it's psychologist, whoever. We need to bring in a third party, a
so
new.
in that scenario,
Mhm.
you would agree with me that the wife is disrespecting the husband,
For sure,
disrespecting his discipline.
for sure.
And now what you're saying is sometimes you have to bring in a third party to get the wife to understand she's disrespecting and the results that will happen with the children because of that disrespect. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she needs to understand your why. Why am I doing this? And also why this diminishes my stature
Yeah.
within this
Within
family.
the community.
Come back. Yeah, it's the community of the family. I mean, it all comes back
Oh
to the
man,
same thing.
dude.
I don't have different rules for different communities or different aspects of disrespect and respect. But I'm telling you, if the wife, if the wife shows tremendous respect for you as the father or the head of the household, this is my belief, it will so benefit both the male and the female, the daughter and the son,
Sure.
as they
Sure.
mature because they have that model. They have that model. And, we're talking about this nuclear family that's done well. Unfortunately, in many communities, we haven't been there as men. And I'm
Right.
talking about as men, not as a father of children, but as men. And that's why, in a lot of ways, I love your premise of dangerous men. Okay. Yeah, we're dangerous to a lot of this baloney that's going around that says that men need to be more effeminate or more gentle and more loving. It's not our role. It hasn't been in the role from day one. From day one, that's not our role. And if we continue down this, and we need another hour on this subject, but if we
Oh, brother.
continue down this road,
Yeah.
it's going to literally affect the whole country. But there are
Well, it
people that are
is.
vested.
It
It already
is.
has, but I mean, even
Yeah.
worse. There are
Yeah.
individuals that are vested for financial reasons and reasons of their inadequacy that want to bring that role of men down. I have a whole talk about emasculation. And, but again, it would take too much time to go
Well,
into that. And
we will
especially,
do it on another dangerous
I'd
men.
love it.
We'll take it deep inside of the dangerous coalition. And guys, that's where you can really go deep. The Dangerous Men show is giving you
Mhm. A taste.
some truths that are like way out here. And but in the dangerous coalition, guys, that's where we break it down. That's why I have guys like Ken Miller come in, and once a month we're in private sessions where we can speak candidly and openly as men about challenges that we have with our wives concerning these issues of disrespect. and strategies that we got to apply to get this back on track, because the world system has literally taken over.
Mhm.
And mark my word, it's all over the church. It's all over the church. And that culture of the world has infiltrated the church. And what we got to do is we got to get things back in order. We got to get things back in alignment. And first, it starts with us as men, right, Ken? It starts with us getting
Mhm.
back in alignment.
Mhm.
Ken, we got to go.
You-
But I want you, like, give us a nugget, like getting back on the road to respect as a man. I've had some failures in one of the four domains of my life, whether it's
Mhm.
financially, relationally, physically. I'm way out. I'm 150 pounds overweight, or I got a big belly and I can't see my pee no more. I feel bad about it. I've lost my connection with God. Somehow there's an area of a man's life where he's messed up. How does he get back on the road to getting his respect built back? First within himself.
Yeah, I just got to, and I have to get going too. But you, the probably the first thing I would do is try to understand self. You've got to look at truth. And then the second thing is join the community of God. You've got to join that broader community and let that be the foundation. It's not the community of the streets. It's not the community of your job. It's not the community, of the sporting event or Walmart. It's the community of God. You are a child of God and join that larger. But that means you have to be in conversation and discourse and understanding of God's will as it manifests in your life. So again, I'm so appreciative of this, Dr. Johnson. Come on anytime. Let's keep in contact. And I want to thank everyone who did have an opportunity to listen.
Yeah, and where can they get a hold of you, brother? I see your book in the back, Becoming Ken, which is, I haven't got a chance to read mine. I know you
No
sent
problem.
one in the mail to
No
me. I'll
problem.
be looking forward to getting it. I know you got your scan code in the back. Go ahead, just give them a real quick,
Sure.
give them your
Ken
website, but
Miller,
also give them your
84.
social link.
Yeah, Ken Miller, 84 at LinkedIn. That's go to LinkedIn and then / Ken Miller, 84. Right?
Awesome. Again, Ken, thank you so much. This has been, oh man, such a great talk. We're going to dive deeper and go deeper into this. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Do us a favor, man. This is a talk that needs to be shared all over the place. This is a talk that I'm telling you guys, we got to spread the word about the dangerous show, and let's get men knowing about this. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next show. Godspeed and stay dangerous, guys.